Hi everyone, my name is Agradaa and I humbly welcome you back to my channel. This is a follow-up to our previous video on Agradaa being sentenced to 15 years imprisonment. In our previous video, I promised to pull out a footage of Agrada's victim sharing their story or giving an account of what transpired between themselves and Nana Agradaa, who later on became known as Evangelist Mama Pat. Ladies and gentlemen, I wouldn't take much of your time. Please sit back. Let's watch this properly and quickly analyze. I know there are a lot of foreigners out there watching this particular piece. They are giving the account or they are explaining it in our local dialect known as Tree. That is the popular Ghanaian language. So right afterwards, I will explain it by sharing my thoughts on this particular piece in the English language so that we all get to understand it properly. So please sit back, relax, and let's enjoy this. Let's go!
And we say, didn't me buy, and I'm just scanning to me buy. Into a Jessica, and all the shade, drove yasu, and all mammy paper, pure white. And I did be ICB gumu. Into a day paper, and mamma, and no catch him semenco. Now, the chinamida sorry, I mean, who number womb, and pass on the chain, and that's sorry, in a number womb. But me tension, I'm the in a man, cause I'm a codillo number. But me queno, no mam loto number. Until me queno, nature say. Adechi na me da sorry no na number 2 numbers wom and I'm sanso kum twa na be 3 million. Hi. Tinaje say 130 na 133 million. And I'm lottery time no so ya mbobo ya mendi. Me friend na anu kura nya na me friend no boys na ba ko number o me friend ya ka chem say even say mendi dia na me sam piece kafo from ra. Na just say na me san this ka bi and man continue Metiano mo metimu ofisa na metise wo ye program na so obi ana na Agradaa bu bia no fa number ntina na Agradaa bu obu mi fa so no e ma mi se si form na nunti e na no ameti wo no ma sama me ye den me de bai ntimba ya na
o kono sasika 130 no odi ni na abomu koyi
me de ni na abomu koyi
nti o makoto bibi na so ya
makoto bibia
oje 130 na abomu
oje 130 na abomu mra oje sika no a o mam loto number no me very sad because I just say me banana I say paper na say rubber from me born na oba sika na me be for car kra na me bi
we de nya bi
inti me frɛ madam for ba ko e no send him ska and am de faka inti me ba ne de nyame na ka makoma enye nyame na so mu na nya sa de anka metumi atwa hwe
ti efri ho no 130 no wanya sense say
efri ho no 0 meniska
so
0
tu gusu hwe TV no
ni TV ni de me hwe biem
are
de aye de be de no metumi ahwe me hwe biem
se Ghana for unity we aso for unity o
de me ka kire mo se maame no ye kronfo na minim se baye bi na ode ye saa o de se de ne ode ye saa o nti de me ka kire Ghana for se ma mo bia nti na asem biem na wa mani pa bebre abrabo asai wa mani pa bebre abrabo asai obi mu kura wuwu wa mani pa bebre abrabo asai nti ma mo bia ni TV kura obi hu a ondum no me bomba SMP for nkoji sika maye
ti Agradaa na me ti say ka say se bosia kra pe oba unya ubeya na waide watini pa kro de ama nti e kan me ame so me fa me sika na me foro kan nkan go dru ho no na amrem ti ebi ti to no me say mama ni obi ankasa na me so na me to nti e kakra no e na frame say me nkuru na me kwamtim kwa na asita to no say ya kwa so na me so me ho kire me say me no me na ahye na mam bai wankasa bi no say ne kuta me na me kan no say me fanto kra bi so me fanto na me de tum
na say
ba cho 10 million de tum
aso we ko to dua
de tum intimate na say no fa paper white bi na mo so ode ade bi gum na me nim de ode gum o chekire no say bla me sore no say menji na me bie so me duru kuma say a me fanto me mpeda say ade echi a na ma yede me bie so me de ode no say an no na me koye na me nya sika na me de beba na masan nya sika na me pe no na me say nto kan ho de me te ase na me de eba afi ti am beduru ahomachi na de champa pa me sore am ko pe lotto number lotto box ni bi na me de ma abra no twae 20 cedis nti me twae na me de me je ayi me be hwe ni ma amo me sa ye na me baba ko say ma na de na wo pe na me sim kamenya 20 bi ko to ayi na o se je na me sa de 20 o man 20 na me sa 2 nika e ko ya na me ye de me de call lotto mine on say tramam me san ko hia amo am say eh me dey assemble ni na me san say ene asade a me call ayi obi wo ayi tachiman ntimi nua ba ko mo me besia no ma me 500 me pro ka ni ma me ne ho me duru wa na me ka chen say madam ade na amo no o say me nkotwa biem ne bebo am say da bia de ne mo
o friend phone so
me ba cho man friend phone so me folo ka ko nka na me ba cho of na me ka chen say ade na amo na me ka say me no me ni na hye me say ade kuma se dwome de ka ade nso no nko ayi me ba ko school ntini peska de anti me pa me panacho na o simi de me nkotwa ne bebo na me suyo na me da me ne ba ambo afi de me ba e ma ya mo afi me hu be nko hye da mo tombi a be se na wo twe na afi na me pie me ntimi mpie me de ka ka we de kan ka me fa kran ko tena dwo na me nton me ko na me nya me sika when be so ko school afi wo a o hwe a me nya sika ma na o so wo ja na so de mo nya ko hu teacher no me be wo se mo wa baby me sro Blaja na de fie mi nsani on ka baba mi ni ba ebie eba fe ne ba mi na ma sa si mi ni bi ndi pe die
me pacho oba na oba ba ko pe no no
eba cho ani
So, one person, I mean one woman, has been able to cause this harm and emotional tremor to an uncountable number of people. So I believe you understand why people were jubilating upon her arrest. Now, per the account of both parties, that is the man and the woman, Agradaa will publicly advertise something known as Sika Gari. And the Sika Gari translates to the fact that when you bring an amount of money to her premises, she will double it for you so that you kiss your struggles and your worries goodbye. But people will bring that money. She takes the money from them and gives them lotto number. Per the account, she puts the number on this particular plain paper, which is not visible. So by the time you get to your house, it becomes very visible. And I believe that is one of the reasons why the people ends up believing her fully. You understand? Because she will give you a plain sheet of paper, and the following day you will start seeing the number. I'm wondering the kind of paper she was using, bro. Hey, the last time I remember converting papers to something of the sort was this little science experiment whereby we got hold of litmus papers, that is red and blue. You know, scientifically, acid turns blue litmus paper red and alkaline turns red litmus paper blue. So when I put the blue litmus paper into anything with an acidic content, so the blue litmus paper becomes red, and anything with alkaline or alkaline base, when I put the red litmus paper there, it becomes blue. That is the first time I remember, or that is the last time I remember doing something with papers or seeing something about papers changing or converting to something else. So don't be surprised when you see these gullible men and women falling victim to the ponzi scheme or the chemicals of Nana Agradaa. It's rather unfortunate. It's rather unfortunate. I know a lot of people out there are making meanings into this. People wouldn't mind calling them greedy, calling them selfish for taking their money there to be doubled. Normally, I do not judge such victims because, trust me, it can happen to anybody. It can happen to anybody. You know, recently, FBI was in Ghana here, and I'm told they are trying to get a number of people involved in romance scam here and there. You understand? Some of the US citizens fell victim to their romance scam. So what will you say about that? Are they also stupid? So trust me. So don't doubt me when I say this can happen to anybody. This can happen to anybody. We live in a society whereby everybody needs money to survive. From a different school of thought, people will go like, you don't need money to survive. But trust me, organizations even see money as the lifeblood. You know, several years ago, our forefathers were primarily farmers. whereby they were putting stuff in the soil for plants to germinate, for them to make food out of it. Today, the situation is different. Using our country as an example, the activities of illegal mining operators, or galamsey for instance, has naturally caused a lot of land to lose its fertility. So if you should even put something in the soil, it's definitely going to take a longer period of time for it to germinate. What of our water bodies? Through these same galamsey or illegal mining activities, we are destroying our water bodies. So trust me, people need money day in and out. As the woman explained previously, school fees, they needed money. So something of the sort, I do not judge the victims. Agradaa, who is currently in prison, is such a wicked soul. Trust me, is such a wicked soul. But at least your conscience should even speak something to you. As the man said in his account, a lot of people have lost their lives simply because they've been duped by Agradaa. And it's crazy. It's crazy. I heard a rumor this morning and I don't really know how true that is. It is alleged that upon Agradaa arriving in the prison, she was mercilessly beaten up by this particular woman in prison, who is left with 6 months to come back home. And according to the woman, she has spent years in prison simply because of this scheme from Nana Agradaa. She was in possession of somebody's money and she took it to Agradaa for the money to be doubled. And guess what? Same thing happened. She didn't get the money back and the person decided to take the call to the police. And in the long run, a judgment was pronounced on her to spend some years in prison. A lot of people are in prison. A lot of people have lost their lives simply because of this scheme from Agradaa. Let me remind you that a similar thing happened pertaining to men's gold. But hey, that is a story for some other time, so we wouldn't dwell much on that. If you love the content I do create, or if you love what I do, and you genuinely want to be part of this beautiful family, do what, subscribe to the channel, like this video and keep your comments coming. Peace.